Hey guys, in the last video we have seen about how we can use cross-company while we are working on multi-company scenarios. So in this video we are going to see about how we could use the change keyword, like change company keyword. So I will take the similar example here. Yeah, so what we are going to do, we will simply use the change company keyword. But so what we are going to do, first of all, we'll navigate to USMF legal entity. We'll try to select one of the vendor group from here. Then we'll try to change the legal entity and we'll try to fetch the vendor group from this USP to legal entity. So let's directly jump into Visual Studio and let's start. So first of all, we need our table local, right? So for that, I'm going to define this VendGroup table buffer. And as usual, what I will do here is me this space here. Yeah. So now what I will do, I will say, select first only. So I will use first only from our Vend group. And so here I will write my info statement, info str, fmt. Here I will tell my, vendor group, vendor group. And then I will say this one. And then here I will tell the legal entity. And then I will simply write this one, then VendGroup, VendGroup, and then we'll show the data area ID of our VendGroup. Let me close this. Now, what we are going to do now, we'll change the company. So let me write here change company, and let's say I want to change to this USP to company. And now let me write, inside this particular block. So here, what I will do, let me show you something interesting here. So let me copy this statement from here. I'll simply paste this one here. And again, let me do the same thing here. One more time. Okay, so what this code is going to do, it is going to pick the first customer from our vendor group. So we are going to run the runnable class in USMF legal entity. So it is going to fetch the vendor group from that particular legal entity, and then we'll change the company to US, this USP2. And here we'll get the, data area ID vendor group 2 times. So, so for example, here in this particular, line number 18 and 19, you will get the same result as we have in line number 13 and 14. And I will show you practically as well. So to eradicate this problem, we will simply, change. So we'll, remove the buffer. We'll make it null. Okay. So I will tell you practically what all we are doing here. So and let me do one more thing here. Instead of this, let me say when group 2. Let me take one more buffer here. And let me copy the same statement here and copy and paste. And here instead of this, we are going to say when group 2, when group 2, when group 2. So let me trigger build here. Yeah, hey guys, the build is completed, and so here, as per our code, we should get 4 outputs, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So let's go and see our outputs. So let's start output from bottom. So first of all, we get a random legal entity from our USMF legal entity. That is this one, 10. Okay. So now let's go back to our Visual Studio, and here if you see that, just a second here. Yeah. So now if you see in the second statement, we change the company to USP2, but even though the legal entity is changed to USP2, but still it fetches the same value from USMF legal entity. The reason is simple. We define the vendor group here, but the buffer haven't get replaced. This was getting the older buffer only, so that's why in the second info statement as well we were getting the value from older legal entity. But in third this statement, we make the vendor group to null, and then when we call the statement, it fetches the latest legal entity data from our database, and then it fetches is the correct legal entity. And in this scenario, like when group 2, even though we define the variable outside of this, but this variable didn't get any value by the time, so it did a latest call from database, and we are getting accurate results. So if I go here, you see in the initial two statement, it get USMF that is accurate. In the second one, even though the company was changed, but again it get the same results. And the reason is that because the local buffer didn't get changed, and then at the last two statement, the legal entity was changed, and we started getting this vendor group 10.1. So I hope this helps you. Thank you for watching the video.